was introduced to Miriam Shapiro. And the reason that she left an impression on me, so imagine, so I'm in school and I'm studying fabric design, which is to design something that's essentially utilitarian. I mean, it can be beautiful. You can make beautiful fabric that you wear in your clothing or adorn your home, and my specialty was home furnishings. But I learned about this artist, Miriam Shapiro, who had recently kind of started making a name for herself in the 70s with something called Femage and the women's feminist artist movement. And her whole thing was taking ordinary materials, for lack of a better word, that were associated with women's work. It could be quilting, it could be sewing, you know, embroidery, just things that you did around the home to make your house a more beautiful place to live, but nobody ever thought of it as art. And she took those materials and she elevated them into making artwork, and she made like this big grand fan, and she did installations with Judy Chicago, who's another NAWA member who's still alive. Miriam passed away in 2015. But anyway, and so as a fabric designer, you know, then of course I forget about her, and I go out in the corporate world and I do my thing. But then eventually, I came back to making, or I got introduced to making fine art because I left the textile design world and started making art. And the textile designer which is basically graphic design on steroids in soft form, right? Instead of on your computer, it's like tangible things that you can touch, but the principles are the same. And that was always resonating in the back of my head. And for the last 25 years, I have been experimenting with how do I get my fabric design into my paintings. And my work has gone through as many different iterations of trying to make that formula work and still be true to me, but not look like it was stamped out by a machine. And until recently, and like I'd say the last 2.5 years, all of a sudden the cogs started falling into place. And it's really exciting right now for me professionally in my studio because I'm doing like all of this cool, I was gonna use a 4-letter word, but stuff. And like now I'm really excited about working because like I have my own voice and I'm able to use all of this inspiration I've been collecting over the last lifetime. So this piece, I was inspired by Miriam Shapiro and Femage, and my whole point was I wanted to take the design elements that I would have at once upon a time used in my professional career as a fabric designer. This design is from a French wallpaper. And this at the bottom is from a vintage quilt that I found. And I wanted to just say, unapologetically, in your face, let's bring it from the background of your life and the wallpaper that's behind the artwork that you buy, and let's just bring it up to the forefront and be like, and own it and be like, these are beautiful things that we surround ourselves with. And it's no longer your grandmother's quilt that you wrap around you that you don't pay attention to or think about. It's literally a piece of art. The wallpaper is beautiful, and let's celebrate it. And that's what this was about. I called it unapologetic. Underneath here is layers of old paintings, and I have giant tubs in my studio, like this stuff that you store your Christmas decorations in, that are full of frantic work that I do on a regular basis, that I have an idea and then I gotta get it down and then it gets discarded. And rather than throwing those things away, I've started saving them, and then they become the work that serves as the foundation for what I'm doing next. So there's cardboard. I have a little thing for corrugated cardboard, by the way. I love the idea of corrugated cardboard worked into a piece of art next to a piece of beautiful embroidered Hungarian silk, and maybe a piece of a Persian rug, and then bottle caps, right? Like, they should not be together in a piece of art, but you know what? There they are. So all of that is in the subtext of this piece. The quilt on the bottom, I decided to embellish it. This shape that you see here, like this vessel that they're on, is very important to me. In my work, it's become sort of the foundation. The shape is what holds my artwork. I call them soul sleds, and it's where your guardian angel or your whoever that person is to you, right? I'm not gonna, where they get to kick back and relax. So they spend all of their time watching over us. But at some point, they have to carry the weight of our life. So this is where they store all of that stuff, so they don't have to carry it on their shoulders, because I know my life has been a burden for somebody. But then sometimes my life is going really well, and so that's where she can sit back and just relax. So this is a shape I use as a foundation very often in my work. If it's not the foundation, it shows up in my work as some part of it, as another vessel, either in a tree or like on this piece over here. It serves as a well at the bottom of this altar piece that I made. So anyway, there's I made crocheted little round pieces, and this is Mexican lace that I adapted and embroidered, and there's paper, little pieces of tin, and these are all embroidered down. Anyway, so there it is, yeah. When you go home, look at the stuff in your house, and you're like, oh yeah, that really is beautiful.
So where's your grandmother's quilt?
Well, this was not my grandmother's quilt, but it's underneath. So,
oh, there is, okay.
Oh, you can't see it because I backed it.
Okay.
So all of the paintings.
So it's more of a backing to the.
It's underneath. You can see like this shape.
Yeah.
Is from the original quilt. Okay.
Yeah,
and then it was threadbare. But the cool thing, yeah, exactly. It was hand stitched together. And what I find on the vintage quilts that I acquire, this edge of the original design, even though like the hopsack fabric has worn away and is gone, that often is what's left, and I love that. It just creates like the basis for the design.
Thank you.
Sure.